In this video, I'm gonna show you how to create and implement naming standards in Autodesk Construction Cloud. So for this process, we're gonna follow 4 steps: defining a naming standard, creating attributes in ACC, creating the naming standard, and applying that naming standard to any existing folder or any folder you create. Now, to define a naming standard, it's up to you if you follow an international standard or if you have an internal naming convention in your company. I'm going to use one for the previous projects. So we're going to follow project number, a project name abbreviation, file discipline, and consultants abbreviation. These attributes are the ones that we're going to create in Autodesk Construction Cloud. First thing we have to do is access files, but there's a difference if you access files from docs and or build. If you access files through build, you're not going to be able to find a naming standard setting. But if you access files through docs, then you're going to be able to see the naming standard settings and some other attributes or settings. So the first thing we do is click on attributes, and we start creating the attributes based on our naming standard. And the first one I'm going to create, it's my project number. We're going to give it a name, project number. And we will have to select between 3 kind of types: text field, date, and drop-down list. Text field allows you to input manually the name of the file, which opens the possibility to create a mistake. Date, it's not gonna be relevant in this video, and the drop-down list is usually what we prefer. So the first thing is, for the project number, we only have one value, and we're gonna use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this exercise. We give it a description, project number. We hit create. Now, we have created these 4 attributes, so when anyone uploads a file, they can pick between any of those. Now, after we created the attributes, we go ahead and navigate through naming standards, which is in this tab. And it's pretty straightforward. You click on create naming standard, and Autodesk Construction Cloud is going to give you the option in selecting from the ISO standards to import an Excel file. But for this example, we're going to start from blank. We're going to give it a name, test naming standard. And then we're going to select our attributes. Keep in mind that the order you select these attributes, it's the order it's going to show the naming convention. Meaning that if you click first in consultants abbreviation, then in project number, and then in file discipline and so on, it gets in that order. But you can then move them according to your naming convention. So for this exercise was the project number, we can drag this, then the project abbreviation. You can see the preview in the top of the window, and then the file discipline, and finally the consultants abbreviation. Now you can see all the details of each attribute in this window. The last thing you'll have to do is define the separation or delimiter, which Autodesk Construction Cloud provides with hyphen, underscore, or point. I prefer to use hyphen, so I just select hyphen and click on save. Now we successfully created our naming standards. Now the next step would be to apply them. Final step. We go to files, we create a new folder, test folder 1, and we're going to create another one just to compare them, test folder 2. Now the first one, it's not going to have a naming standard. Let me show you. You click on 3 dots here, navigate through more, and select apply naming standard. So we click on it, and we tell Autodesk Construction Cloud that we only need to apply to this folder. We select the test naming standard, and it's going to show you a preview. We hit apply, and we successfully apply it. How you can tell the difference if a folder is applying a naming standard, it's by this check icon within the folder icon. Now to test the naming convention in this folder, I'm gonna drag and drop a PDF drawing that we received through a consultant. Let's say that it's the first version. And I'm gonna drop it here. And instantly I'm gonna see this window with these attributes we previously created. So we have project number, abbreviation, and so on. And the attributes that contains a single choice are gonna be selected by default. But if we have different disciplines, we can select the architectural discipline for this one, and that's it. It's going JM architecture. Now it's good to upload. Different than if I upload this in a folder that does not have a naming convention. I can drag and drop, and it's going to show this naming convention from our consultants. It's version 1. And it's just gonna be named after that. So that's how you implement naming standards through Autodesk Construction Clouds. Hope it helps.